So today we're going to be looking at tutorial number 6, all right, in the series of book number 1. So today, there it is, book number 1. This is the Essentials pack. This is the 118 version we're looking at here, but I have a 112 version as well for the 6-inch figures. So it's available in both sizes, and they're the same art and pages, just different scales for different ones. All right, so that being said, today we're going to be looking at the space battle scene, and we're going to be editing Dr. Doom. All right, just real quick, I am using Windows, so when I use terms like hold Control, like Control C for copy, right? You're gonna on a Mac, you're most likely going to be using Command C. So if I say Control, use Command. Sorry, that's my text message in the background. Let's see here. I'm using Photoshop for this tutorial, but there are some free options out there. I think it's called Photop if you go to photop.com. So look into that, but I'm using Photoshop. Again, a lot of these look good right out of the camera, but if you want to go the extra mile, you can use some editing softwares. And finally, I will be using some overlays that I've created here. You can see them over here on the side. These are some special effects that I put in there just to give it more of a cinematic quality. So that is covered in tutorial 3. If you want to go back and look at that video, it shows how to make these overlays. It's very simple. Okay. And with that, I will begin. So here is Dr. Doom. This is the figure I put up on the backdrop and just took a picture out of my cell phone here. And let's jump in. So I've already pulled out some of the effects that I'm going to use just for this demonstration. So let's just hop to it. But the first thing I do is we're going to select this main picture here. And I'm going to go to, let's see, my quick selection tool over here. And we're going to say select subject. There's a lot going on here, so we'll see how accurate it is. Let's see. Man, it always does good. It never ceases to surprise me. All right, there we go. So it got him pretty good with the auto select, so no editing needed there. So it's got him selected. We're going to hit Control C and Control Shift V. Now the reason I say Control Shift V instead of Control V, when you hold Shift, it will paste it exactly where he lies. It's not going to paste him slightly off from the center or anything. And it's important that we have him here because he's hiding his other self. So here he is on this layer. We'll just call this Doom just to make it easier in conversation. So now that we have him separate, let's choose the layer behind him. And we're going to get this little marquee tool here. You can choose whichever style works best, but I'm just going to use this rectangle one here. And we're going to highlight that spiral binding back there. We're going to get rid of that. Once you highlight that, you're going to hit Generate a Fill. You're going to leave this prompt default. Don't type anything there and just click Generate. This is going to take just a couple seconds. It's going to give you 3 options to choose from. Usually one of those options look great just right away. If not, you can hit Generate again. It'll give you 3 more options. Yeah, that's not bad already. That's 1, 2, and then there's 3. Which one? I'm thinking we'll go with, that's tough. Maybe I'll just go with 3 just to make it quick here. So I'm going to select that generated fill layer. And I'm going to hold Control and select the bottom layer just to get both of those highlighted. And I'm going to press Control E to merge those together. Okay, so now we got a permanent background with the spiral binding gone. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, his color pretty much matches already with the background, so we don't really have to edit his colors too much, so that's fine. So now I guess what we'll do is we'll jump straight into adding some special effects. All right, so this is the fun part. There's a lot of war going on, as you can see back there, a lot of explosions and rocks flying around. So we need to build on that to make it more believable, right? So I always like to start with some smoke or fog, depending on the scene. In this case, it's going to be some smoke. So I'm going to take this layer and I'm going to drag it down behind him. All right, so here he is. I want to underneath that layer, so it's going to be behind him. So let me put some chaos going on back here. Maybe off to the side. You don't want it too perfect. There it is. So it's like it's smoking right there. That actually don't look bad where it's at. I might just leave it like that. You could bring the opacity down here if you just wanted it to blend a little more. Okay, so now let's see what else we got. I may not use all of these. I just threw some in here, honestly. So let's get this. I might drag that down behind him as well. Just like, let's shrink that one. There's some things happening in the background. I don't know how far back we should put it. Maybe something's exploding back there. You like my sound effects? Cheesy, I know. All right, so I'm gonna bring that opacity down. But you also want to put something in front of him. So those are behind him. We need to add something in front. So I'm gonna grab this fog right here, and I'm gonna put it above his layer. So let's unhide it. This is gonna be in front of his feet here. So I'll bring that up. This kind of puts it across him. Let's see, there we go. I might bring the opacity down him as well. It just kind of makes it look like he's in the middle of it all, right? You got some behind him, some in front of him. It just makes it a little bit more believable. Okay, so now again we see all these explosions going around him. So I think it's time we bring in some fire embers here. All right, so let's bring that up. It's a subtle touch. I don't know if you can see him as I move it around. I'm gonna go with that, but I'm probably gonna make lots of copies of it. So I'll make a copy there. I do that by holding Alt and I click and drag and it makes a copy. And then I will change the size of it, maybe rotate it, move it around different areas. I'll hold Alt, click and drag another copy of it over here. And again, I might change the size of it, rotate it a little bit, just put it around. Okay, and now you can see we got some like sparks and things flying around in front of him. Again, it's just putting him more deep into the action. Okay, so what else do we have? Here's a little light effect. It's not bad. Whoops, make sure I'm on that layer. If you're having trouble clicking layers, you can always hold Control. So highlight the layer you want, hold Control, and you can click out here, and it'll be able to move that layer around more easily. I feel like we could have it up here maybe, kind of out of frame. Might make it a little bigger. And I know that's a bit overwhelming with that color. I may come here and make it more orange tinted. So basically I went to image adjustments and I'm going to the hue and saturation and I'm going to tint it to more of a orange tone because there's a lot of explosions in fire, right? And then yeah, I might desaturate it a hair. Then I might bring the opacity down a little bit. There we go. So we got kind of a glow going on here. Now, let's see, what else? What else? That's already not bad. I mean, I think we've done a lot in a short amount of time here. Sometimes less is more. You don't want to go overboard. And with that, I might just, honestly, I might just stop right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take now this top layer of effects that I have showing here. I'm going to hold Shift and click the bottom image. When you hold Shift, it's going to highlight everything in between the top and bottom that you chose. And I'm going to press Control E to merge them. So now that's a flat image, okay? So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my adjustments and presets, and there's a little effect up here under creative called dark fade. I'm going to click the dark fade. Now I know that makes it way too dark. That's okay. We're going to, all I did was I minimized this here. I'm going to click this kind of parent folder for that dark effect right there. I'm going to click that and I'm going to go to the opacity. So if I bring it all the way down, we're back to where we were. But I'm going to slowly bump that up until it gets to that kind of movie cinematic, quality that I'm looking for. It's usually around 30%, 30 to 40, somewhere in there. You can tweak it. That's just me personally what I like. So I like that. So I'm going to choose that background layer and this new effect layer, or that dark fade layer. And again, I'm going to highlight both of those and I'm going to hit Control E. Now they're merged. That's permanent. Now let's go back to the adjustments, single adjustments here, and we're going to go to the levels. I personally like to bring the dark slider up to bring out some darks. Then I'll bring this light slider down. It just makes it more contrasting between the two. Okay. And that might be a good stopping point. Let me see. Let me choose this and this. And I'm going to merge those with Control E. So what I tend to do is I'll take my logo now and I'll just slap that up there. Okay, but I always make it kind of transparent because you don't want it to be the focus point of the picture, but you do kind of want it there to distinguish, yours from everybody else's, especially if other people are using these same books. Um, so you want to make it your own, put your mark on it. And that's it. So let's just take a quick before and after. So I did make a copy of it before. I'll just show that. So here's where we were, and in a matter of minutes, and obviously I was going a little slower trying to explain it, but you can do this really fast, especially once you get used to it. But yeah, here's before and here's after. That's quite a difference. So yeah, you can really make some magazine worthy shots with your action figures. It's great for posting them on social media. It's great if you're just trying to sell maybe a custom action figure you're trying to sell on eBay, who knows. Take some really cool pictures of them with these books, and then just really showcase them, pose them in different ways, put them in different environments, really, really sell it. And it's just enjoyable. I love doing this. So, but yeah, there's that. Hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, let me know. See ya.